The initial need that I saw was that there's all this great wisdom and all these great books, but not as many people were applying it. And then there would be the occasional lucky few who, based on circumstances and conditions, would kind of be forced to rise to the occasion as a leader and really be able to make a huge difference, whether it was in a small group or sports or, like I said, in the church. With all the challenges that we're facing, the increasing complexity, the magnitude of the stakes that were at hand, we weren't going to be able to rely on just a handful of leaders who were accidental. We really need to intentionally create greater access and a much broader pool of diverse types of leaders to rise to the occasion.
Leaders are pulled in multiple directions. So they're doing this very precarious balancing act of urgent, time-sensitive operational management, which is part of their plate, but also the longer-term strategic play, like fostering a healthy culture, making sure their people are developed, ensuring that there's a legacy and a 5 to 10 year long-term plan. That makes being a leader difficult in these times.
When you are in school or you're learning about it for the first time, it's very cleanly laid out in a process. But that process, when applied in real life, doesn't always go that way, right? So it's really important, and I wish more people understood and were comfortable with the ambiguity and the understanding that those things aren't always going to go exactly how they were laid out on page 60 of the textbook, and that's okay. And that if we really step back and take a deep breath and kind of get grounded in the work that we're doing in the lives of our clients, we can adjust those processes to deliver something really meaningful for clients by being nimble in our approach, by being comfortable with ambiguity, and being really customer focused in our approach to really understand what pieces of that process of change management are relevant, are going to be useful, and what pieces can we either throw out or do we want to adjust to make it really tailor-made.
I think one thing they don't know they need is for us to actually train them. So it's really train the trainer. Oftentimes it's expected that we just come in there, we do the work, we help them get through whatever issue it is, or project manage for them, or whatever it may be. But ultimately what we are trying to do, and that they ultimately see and are attracted to what we're doing, is we are training them to take over and do that. Some may think that's a terrible business model, because how are we going to stay in business if we train everybody to do what we do? But ultimately, if we're not leading and developing others, we're not doing our job.
One of the most important things I think that we can do is to really understand what life is like for our clients. And so it's really important to me at the forefront of any kind of client engagement that we sit down and share with our client, here are all of our options based on, any research we've done or data we've gathered or understanding that we have, and let them be part of that decision-making process. Because it's easy to come in with a process that we think is, going to work, it's tried and true for us, but that particular client might not be comfortable, or they might not like this piece or that piece. So I think it's really important to make them part of the key decision-making, to make them part of the process up front, and then keep checking back in how things are working, are things going smoothly, what adjustments do we need to make, and where can we add bits and pieces that will help accelerate that change. And so in order to do that, you've got to be really connected with them and listening from the get-go.